Yes, thank you so much, Natalie. Yeah, so first I want to talk about the things I'm about to take you through. So first I'm going to show you how to upload files to Takeoff. And then we're going to measure those files to calculate the material requirements. And then we're going to combine those measurements we took on Takeoff and use them on estimates. So I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so this is now the Houzz Pro dashboard, and I'm sure you're already familiar with it. But here on the right, we have the takeoff, and we can click on this button that says create a takeoff. And then we can either assign the takeoff to a new lead or a new project. But I have already opened a project that I'm going to assign it to. So that's this one right here. And then I'm going to click on create. So now I'm being prompted to upload files. Now, the best way I can do that is I can either open this up, and then I can just upload them. I can also just drag and drop, which is what we're going to do now. And that's because I want to show you how to change JPEG files to PDF documents. So as you can see here, you can only upload PDF files. And Simon, I think, as you mentioned, you are using a MacBook as well. So this is how you do it on a Mac. You just open up the image.
Before we go there, Xavier, what is a JPEG and what is a PDF?
So a JPEG is a image file, like a PNG, and a PDF is a portable document file, and that is, I think, a uniform file that is used to easily transport files.
Can you show us how we can tell if it is a JPEG or a PDF?
Yes, so right here we can see that these two are JPEG images and this one is a PDF document. And also here you can choose to actually see the kind or not. Yeah.
So if we just stop here, does that make sense, Simon?
Yep.
Perfect. Also by the file extension sometimes, but this is not always.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so what I did is I open up the image, and then on Mac you will automatically open on preview. So I just need to go here on the top left, click on File, and then export as a PDF. And then we're just going to click on Save. And then we're going to use the PDF extension. I have, however, already created this file, so I'm not going to do it again. So I'm just going to click on Cancel. But as soon as you click on PDF, it would have exported this image file as a PDF document. So now what I can do is I can just click this PDF document and just drag it over here into the window. And you can see the bar is green, which means it has been uploaded. And now I can just click on Create and Continue. And now the takeoff has been opened up. And now you can see it's loading both image files. So the first thing I want to do is I want to scale the file. And we're going to do that by going down here where it says Find Scale. Sorry, let me just zoom in real quick. So you can see that this line, right here, represents 2 meters. So now we can click on Find Scale. And now what we're going to do, we're going to click on this end. Then we're going to drag this line all the way to the other end. So we're going to confirm with a double click. And then we can input the length of that line, which is 2 meters. And then as you can see right here on the bottom left, right now the page scale is 1 to 100. And as soon as I click on Set Scale, it would have changed to 1 to 61. Now it's just asking me if I want to apply the scale to all previous measurements. We have not done any yet, but it's good to know that if you forget to do this step, you can do it at any point of your measuring process. So I'm just going to click on Yes. I'm just going to zoom out. And now for the next page, we see here you will see you have to individually adjust the scale for each individual page. But right now we can just take it from here, 1 to 61. We can just type it in here. Yes, again. So now both pages will be to scale.
One question, Simon, when you do your calculations, you usually have a floor plan that you work on kind of like this?
Yeah.
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 Perfect.
Yeah. So now the next step is to show you how we actually measure this. And this is also super easy. This will just take a couple of minutes. So say, for example, that we want to install a floor on the kitchen and say, just for demonstration purposes, so we also want to install it on the bedroom. So we can do this by clicking on the rectangle, and then we can create a group. Now, what the group does is it takes the two floors that we're going to measure right now, and it's going to add their measurement into just one single measurement, really. So I'm just going to click on create new group, and I'm just going to call it floor. I'm going to click on create group. And now I have selected the rectangle tool already. I'm going to go on this corner and I'm going to drag it all the way over here. Now I can go all the way up to here and that will be fine, but I can also just move it, over here. And that measurement is now saved over here, as you can see. However, we don't want to measure this bit, because this is a wall, or here this is a closet. So we can use the deduct tool to remove this from the measurement. And again, I just click on this corner and I just drag it over here. And as you can see, this has reduced. And again, over here. And again, so now you have really just calculated the area where you actually just need to install the floor. And now I'm going to do the same thing in the bedroom, but I can use another tool, and that is the polygon tool. And with this tool, first I'm going to add this to the group, to the floor group. And again, I'm just going to click on this corner, and I'm just going to trace this all along the bedroom. And then once I'm at the start again, I'm just going to double click to confirm. And you can see here we have both measurements in square meters, and here we have the sum of both these measurements. And this is really great for calculating how much floor you need if you want to use the floor, for example, in multiple rooms in one property.
Question here, I can see that we have rectangle 1, polygon 2.
Yes.
Is there any way that we can rename them?
Yes, exactly. So as you can see, when I hover over it, it will highlight which measurement it is. So I can just rename this to kitchen, and then I can just rename this to bedroom. Yeah.
And what would be the benefit of adding the names there?
I think it will be, number one, it would be for organizational purposes, so you don't get lost, because when you're working on a project, especially a big project, for example, you will have a lot of measurements. And I think it's just good practice to name each measurement you're taking. Yeah. Okay. Next tool that I'm going to show you is the length tool. And we can use this tool for multiple purposes. One of them would be, say we want to install a skirt board, all around here. And again, we would just trace it all along the perimeter. And say we just want it up to here. I'm going to again double click to confirm. And you can see here, it has just calculated the length of this. I'm just going to call it skirting board. However, if we go into this little icon, we can add a height to the measurement. And this is perfect if you want to calculate the areas of a wall, say if you want to paint it, or if you want to put some wallpaper in, this is perfect to just calculate the area of the wall to know how much material you will need. So I know that here the height of the wall is 2.5 meters. As you can see up here, we have the length, and then here we have the square meters. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on done. As you can see, it's saved here in square meters. Then the next thing we can also do with the rectangle is
question here before you move on. So you were talking about that we have the measurement for the skirting board and how we now can use this measurement for the paint, for example, needed for the walls. So can I duplicate that measurement quickly?
Yes, of course. My apologies. I should have done that before, but you can duplicate it. And then I should have done that before, but I can also just remove the height of this. Then we have really one for the skirting board, and then we have one for, say, the wallpaper. Yeah. Thank you, Natalie. And then going back to the rectangle, we can use the rectangle tool to also calculate volume. So say we want to add a little step over here. So again, I'm going to just click on the corner and drag it all around here. I'm just going to call this elevation, for example, or just step, enter. And then here, we will again add the height, say it has to just be 20 centimeters in height. And then again, you can see here the area in square meters, and then you can see down here the volume. And again, save right there. And then the next tool is the count tool. And we can use this, say you want to install new doors, new handles, you can use this to count how many you will need for the project. But now say I want to install recessed lighting. So again, I will just create on the count tool. I will create a new count. I'm going to name it lighting. I'm going to click on new count. And now I can just start counting. So I want 4 new lights over here. And then I want 2 more here, another 2 here, and say 6 in the kitchen. And you can see it will be saved right here, 14 counts under lighting. But this is obviously how you can measure a 2D floor plan, but you're also able to measure a side view as well. And again, we're just going to assume we want to say paint this facade of the house, and we can use the polygon tool for that. And we're just going to trace all around the perimeter of it. I just click and then I drag the line to the next point until I have traced all the perimeter. And then when I'm back at the start, again, just double click. But now we see we have also measured the windows. So we have actually measured all this red area, but we don't want to paint over the windows. So we can again use the deduct tool to remove the measurement of these windows. And again, just click on the corner, drag it along. And you can see it has been reduced. The measurement has been reduced. Oh, my apologies. And we can just click on undo. If we make a mistake, that's no problem. We can just go back. And there we go. And that's really all there is to the Takeoff feature. You can see, I think, Simon, you mentioned it takes you 2 or 3 days to make measurements, but really with Takeoff, it takes a matter of minutes.
2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so this can really be a great time saver for you. Yeah, so
pause there and just check in with the audience. Simon, number 1, how is your brain reacting to the information being shared?
In the bigger jobs that I do, obviously I pass some of this out to external agents, but obviously then it's difficult because sometimes the files that they're giving you aren't compatible with what you're doing, or you've got to try and understand them and things. So, but this would be sort of like, yeah, this is
how could this be helpful for you?
Really easy to use, and obviously to create obviously the images, and then you've got the
if we go back to the first image saver,
yeah, you've got the images, and then obviously you can define the areas, which will then obviously substantiate some of the information that you're putting in your quotes and things, so you can include some of them on. Obviously all your measurements are going to be much more accurate because they're literally off the plans and things, rather than necessarily me working them out with a
pen and paper.
rule.
Yeah. And also, like you were saying, like sometimes it's a cost risk involved as well, right? When you're having everything on pen and paper versus here, where you quick and easy can see which dimension you have measured already, which one you have calculated, and which one you have left out.
And much easier as well to sort of like cascade to your staff as well, the information, because it's easy for them to see and things, whereas obviously potentially sort of like some of the agency staff that I have, they don't necessarily know the way that I'm working, and the information that I'm giving to them sometimes has to be explained by other people. So
yeah
good.
Amazing.
And just to kind of add in there, I think what I find with a lot of contractors is that when they're doing the takeoff themselves, you're mentally prepping for the job. So it's a much kind of better way for you to understand what's being asked of you. If you do outsource that to a QS, you're just getting data back, and it's kind of like it can take you just as long to read it and to understand the job itself. Whereas if you're doing it yourself, you're saving on that QS fee, but you're also much better understanding, okay, this is going to take my guys 2 weeks, and to be able to price that labor component.
Yeah.
So now that I have taken the measurements, I can actually do one of two things. I can just click here on review and estimate, and this will take me all the way. This will take all these measurements and create an estimate that you can just send to your client. But there's also another way that a lot of our pros use, and that is what I'm about to show you. So first, I'm gonna click on Command on my Mac, and then I'm gonna click on the Houzz Pro logo, and that will open up a new tab, and we'll be back at the dashboard. Now we're gonna open the project that I'm currently working on, which is this one over here. And I'm gonna go into estimates, and I'm gonna click on create on new estimate, and I'm gonna create one from a template. And I'm gonna select this template.
And when you create the template saver, what is the benefits of having one?
Yes, I was just going to get to that. When you create a template, what you do is basically you pre-populate it with certain items that you will use over and over again. So instead of creating a new template from scratch the next time, you already have it saved, and then you would just load all those items by choosing the template. As you can see here, we have, for example, the floor and the padding and the paint base. So these are things you will need one measurement for, but you don't necessarily have to do two measurements on takeoff.
Mm-hmm. So I think, like you were saying earlier, Sam, as well, like it will require a bit of effort to build the template up front, but once it's there, yeah. And then you can reuse it as many times as you wish, right? So in the long run, you're actually minimizing the effort, even though it is an effort required in the beginning.
Exactly, yeah. And you can also create as many templates you want, depending on the job you're working on. Yeah. So now what you can do is you can just, for example, click the floor, like select the area of the floor, and you can just copy and paste. You can use Command and C, or you can also right click and copy. And then you can paste it right over here, here as well. And you can also adjust the price per square meter here. And you can see would have automatically calculated that right here. And you can also do the same for the wallpaper, for example. Oops. Yeah, it says paint on, but again, I can just edit that really quickly, and then we can change this to glue. And let's just paste it. I'm just clicking now Command and V, and that will just paste it automatically. And that's pretty much it. You can also annotate most of these line items here. You can change from square meter to square feet or cubic meter as well. So you have really a lot of options here. And then once you are done with the estimate, and once you're happy with it, when it's ready to be sent out to a client, you can click on preview and share. And this is a preview of what the client will look at once he or she receives that estimate.
Is this something that we can customize as well?
Yes, if we go here under settings, you have really a lot of options to customize it. You can show, for example, the price per category. You can show the detailed breakdown as well. You can also show more details about the items.
So if I'm interested in showing the quantity, but not necessarily the price per item.
So you would just click here, and then it wouldn't show the detailed pricing.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that what you mean, Natalie?
Yes. And maybe even like removing the quantity. Would I be able to do that as well?
Which one? This here?
Yeah.
Yes, right there.
Perfect. So then you just have the one cost there.
Yeah.
Got it.
And then one more thing you can do is you can have your client approve either the whole document or per line item. However, I understand maybe this can be a bit difficult if you have to install a floor and maybe the client decides not to take the padding. So what you can really do is you can go back to edit, and then you can approve this yourself. I'm just going to go back to preview and share. Yeah. So once it's done, you will just go ahead and click on share, and then it will be sent out to your client, and you will have it saved in your project. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Perfect. Will you also show how we can book in a training call for the feature that you just showed us?
First, I wanted to actually show you how you can access the Takeoff from projects. I'm just going to go back to the dashboard, and I'm just going to go back into projects and recent projects. Takeoff. This is just the name for the presentation we're doing right now. And then if you go here to the left, you will see the Takeoff. And you will see the Takeoff will be saved as well. And you can always go back and work on it as many times as you need. Yeah. I'm going to click here to go back to the dashboard. And sorry. Yeah. If you ever need to reach out for support, obviously, even though what I show you was, I think, very quick and very easy, if you ever need help from us, we're very happy to book a one-to-one with you. And you can reach out to us just going here, support, and then submit a support ticket, and we aim to get back to you. Really, we aim to send out the first response within 15 minutes, and you should be able to book a one-to-one with us within the day, really. Yeah. So that's pretty much it for takeoffs and estimates.
Perfect. Thank you.